How's it going, boys and girls? Welcome into episode 58 of the Sports Desk, the Denver Broncos Von Miller edition. How's it going, Jack?
Well, let's see. My team just won a Super Bowl, so how do you think I'm doing?
There you go. You got the name.
Yes.
SB LVI Champs. How does it feel? I know you were either very young or like not born yet when the Rams won their title. And
it happened in the calendar year 2000. I was like probably not even old enough to remember what I ate for breakfast that morning, but yeah, it was it's pretty awesome, honestly. Like now that it's sunk in a little bit, it's like damn, we really pulled it off. Like when you like the fact that they went all in as much as they did, and it's like if you don't win a championship out of this, it's a complete waste. And now you're going into a draft where you only have like 3 picks. Actually, there might be a lot of like capital for the Rams this year because of what's it called? What's that word?
Picks? Compensatory picks.
Compensatory pick. Yeah.
Yeah, like if Odell leaves, who are your other free agents?
I don't even think it's just free agents. It's just like a lot of guys from even like last year's free agents, like John Johnson, they might get a comp pick. Troy Hill, they might get a comp pick. So it's like
that's true.
They probably have some draft capital. I don't care anymore because they won a Super Bowl. So it's like,
absolutely.
Man. It's awesome though. It's really awesome. Like they're not kidding when they say how good, like fans of other teams, when they talk about how good they feel after their team wins it. It's like, oh boy. Like,
yeah. Are you like relieved in a way? Is that
I guess so?
You'd use?
I'd say maybe a little bit relieved because like I have seen my team win a championship now in I've seen other teams win a championship very recently, obviously.
Yeah. All 4 sports, yes.
So have you, by the way, too, with the Braves.
All 4 of my teams have won a title since, although I wasn't a huge hockey guy in 2008, so that's a bummer. But yes, my Ravens did win February 3rd. Happy birthday, Mom. February 3rd, 2013. Cavs, June 19th. Happy birthday, Dad. June 19th, 2016. The Braves closed out with November 2nd, 2021. And, of course, the Red Wings back in 2008. So that's funny that the Ravens won on my mom's birthday and the Cavs closed out their series on my dad's birthday.
That's a fun coincidence, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it makes it easier to remember. Like I don't remember the Braves day off the top of my head. Let me see. World Series games.
He's Googling it right now.
I think it's November 2nd. So is there anything notable about November? Darn. Because my parents' anniversary is like 2 weeks after. So the NBA or the NBA, the MLB season would never get that far. Maybe this year if they play 162 games in a lockout, but it would never get that far. But November 2nd, 2021, that was a great day to be alive. Slap the Astros. You're welcome. Woo! Okay. Obviously, this is a Super Bowl show. So, walk me through the roller coaster of emotions you had in that game. We'll get to hot takes in a second, but I want to get some emotions out in here.
We want to get some. There's going to be emotions throughout the whole show. Let's be honest. But geez, it was like just there weren't really any nerves before the game. Or until like right up before, like in the days leading up to it are usually when you get the most nervous. And it's like, I wasn't really feeling that until like right when the Rams started to walk out of their tunnel. I was like, this is really happening now. Like we're about to play a Super Bowl in our home stadium. Like we've always wanted to. Yeah. And it's just like, here we go. Like now we have to go execute because I'm not sleeping. Anytime I say like, oh, a game is never an easy win. Like we played the Jaguars this year and I'm like, it's not an easy win. We got to find a way to be. Truth be told, it was an easy win. That's mostly just my PTSD from when we lost to the Jets last year. And it's like valid. The Bengals. Go ahead.
I just said valid. Go ahead.
Yeah. The Bengals, you don't get to the Super Bowl by accident. And they can still be a pretty lethal team, especially if Mr. Joe Burr gets going.
Joe Burr. I do have a list for you. While we're on the subject of things, let me find. Here we go. Let me see if I can actually share this. I'm not 100% sure I can, but I'm going to try to. And let me make sure. Okay, let me I have a password in there that I don't really want to show. But,
maybe don't show.
I don't know how to get the. Can I like move that so it's not? I don't want to show you folks my password. Wait, is that better? If I do that,
should probably.
I gotta make sure I'm not showing folks my password.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
I guess I can keep going.
It's definitely showing you my password. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I hope we're good. Are we good? Okay.
That's the Super Bowl odds. I don't see any passwords or anything like that. So
okay. There we go. So these are the odds for Super Bowl 57. Bills and Chiefs co-favorites at plus 600. Rams plus 920. Niners plus 1100. The Bungles plus 1300. Packers plus 1300. The Cowboys plus 1475. I had a typo at the end. Let me add a 0 there. My Ravens are at plus 1750. And Jets fans, you're at plus 11,000. So if you're interested, I put a bet on the Chiefs as soon as Super Bowl 54, 50, the Bucks won 55. As soon as that one ended, I put a bet on the Chiefs. Of course, they fell short in the AFC title game, but it was a thought process that counted. So there we are.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's still up. I deleted the tab. That's weird.
Okay. Where was I? I was talking about the pregame, and then like during the game, I was just like kind of how I normally feel during a game. Just like, please, defense, do your thing. Offense, do your thing. Like, just
for sure.
Yeah, just like kind of how I normally watch a football game. And then the Rams score. I get a little extra hype because it's OBJ scoring a touchdown. And then he gets hurt, which I guess we'll touch on a little bit more later. My mentality, I feel bad for thinking this because my first thought was, why didn't he catch the pass? Because it looked like a pretty easy catch. And then my second thought is, oh shoot, he's not getting up. So
yeah, that was bad. That was very sad to see. And I know he had like an ugly exit with Cleveland. I get that, and I get that Cleveland fans and a lot of NFL fans think he's a diva, think he's a bad teammate, but he's a Super Bowl champion now. He was a huge help to the Rams the entire playoff run, the entire season, that second half of the season. He was the number 2 receiver, and he did a lot of what Robert Woods would do in that situation. And I remember doing the OBJ live stream with you as soon as you guys signed him, and there was a question like, is there an Odell curse? Yeah, I definitely think Odell's cursed. He just won 4 straight, or he just helped his team to 4 straight playoff wins. And even if you want to say he got injured in the Super Bowl, so that doesn't count. Well,
the Rams don't win the Super Bowl without that touchdown.
Yeah, the Rams don't win that Super Bowl without Odell Beckham. So, congratulations, Odell. I wonder if he's going to stay with the Rams. Of course, the injury throws some wrench into it, very much like a Chris Godwin, that you get injured later in the season. It's like,
I think it does throw a little bit of a wrench into it, but I'm pretty sure he's going to stay based on how hyped he was too at like the parade, and like he had like a pretty personal moment with Aaron Donald too. Like they were hugging it out and like saying like, talking about how they wanted to run it back. I know the words "run it back" were used a lot. So if anyone's thinking Aaron Donald might retire or Sean McVay might leave, doesn't sound like either one's going to happen.
You sure? You don't think Sean McVay is going to join like the ESPN crew or something stupid?
I think Al Michaels might join the ESPN crew because I think his contract with NBC is over. So
I believe so too. And Michelle Tafoya is going into politics. So that's what I saw.
Interesting. I guess we can dive more into it later because at this point I'd just be recapping the whole game. So we'll save it for that. But we can jump into hot takes.
Let's go into hot takes. Let's go. Boom! So today we have a couple nice ones. We have a couple nice ones. So of course I posted some as underdog. If you're watching the show, get involved on the U Stadium app. If you want points, if you need points to bet on these games, I did all these ranked college basketball games, NBA games. If you want to get involved, tag me at Splash. I will send you points. You can get involved. I don't know. I'll send you a couple hundred points. You can get involved. So yeah, starting off, we have Giants are trash. Pretty blatant there. He says Jalen Hurts will not be the Eagles quarterback next season. Currently, it's up to 5,600 points. He put 800 on it, so I will send him 800 points.
Man, this is a tricky one. Although the reason why I don't imagine there's too many replacements out there possible. I don't know. Like Philly, I guess, could trade for another QB, but
right.
I don't know. I feel like it's a wait and see sort of deal with Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, I think they can look for a replacement, and they do have 3 first-round picks, 15, 16, 19. So you can, like, I guess, use one of them on a quarterback. Thanks, Dad. They could use one on the quarterback position. I guess I have 2 trains of thought here because I really like Jalen Hurts. He is a tremendous leader in the locker room. Like, all of the intangibles, if you're talking about off the field stuff, Jalen Hurts checks every box imaginable. He is incredibly smart. He is incredibly driven. He is incredibly, like, if you're the same words you'd use to describe Brady.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way. I'll put it that way. Like, determination, winner, champion. He won a title at Alabama. 2 titles? I guess it was just the 1 title at Alabama. Like, he fits all those criteria. The issues are on the football field, that he is a classic one-read quarterback, and when that first read isn't there, if Devontae Smith doesn't scream open, and he kind of falls into that Tua mold that he needs guys to be Alabama open as opposed to NFL open. Like, Drew Lock is kind of like this as well, that I don't think Hurts plays with great anticipation. He has to see a guy come open. And like a guy like Stafford can throw it to a spot and have Cooper Kupp be there, Odell be there, Robert Woods be there.
Doesn't even have to look, as we saw in the Super Bowl.
That's true. But Hurts has to see a guy come open. And that's an issue. I agree. And I think there's a ceiling on what Hurts can do as a passer. But I also know that there are few people in the NFL that work as hard as Jalen Hurts does. And I would not be surprised if he takes another step next year. And if right now you're ranking quarterbacks and he's 18, I don't know, between like 16 and 20, like, he's a starter, but you don't love him as your starter. It's kind of in that Jameis tier, Wentz tier, maybe a little lower than Tannehill. Tua is maybe like higher 20s. I think Jalen Hurts maybe not easily, but I would not be surprised if Hurts makes a step from, I don't know, the 18th best quarterback to the 12th best quarterback. And if he gets into that Carr, Cousins, Dak tier, like, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he has shown a lot of development over the last few years. And I would be surprised if the Eagles moved on. Now, at the same time, they do have 3 first-round picks. So you can say, hey, well, we're kind of playing with house money here. So if you draft a guy at 15 and 16 on your defense, or you grab another wide receiver or whatever, and then at 19 you say, let's throw a dart at Carson Strong. Let's throw a dart at Malik Willis. Let's throw a dart at Sam Howell. Or maybe you trade down and get no one in that range other than Pittsburgh wants a quarterback.
Here's a theory. Do you think maybe because the Rams just proved that going all in works, do you think maybe Philadelphia uses some of those picks as like ammo in a trade or something?
Okay. Gun to my head, if you set the over under at how many picks the Eagles make, I would take under 2.5 in the first round. Okay. I think they will trade one of them, whether that's for an established guy. Like, I've mocked a Calvin Ridley trade to them several times. Like, just trade pick 19 for Ridley straight up. You can use that ammo to trade up and go get a Kyle Hamilton or a Tyler Linderbaum. Like, oh my goodness, I am having wet dreams thinking.
I made you think.
Yeah,
here.
From the transition from Jason Kelce to Tyler Linderbaum is essentially Favre to Rodgers. That as far as it is Favre to Rodgers. That holy Christmas.
Because I'm just thinking, like, now that the NFL is like such a huge copycat league, and now that one team has proven you can go all in and get a Lombardi out of it, other teams might start following suit. You might start seeing more, like, I'm not saying every team is immediately going to, like, the Eagles especially are not going to become a super team in the blink of an eye, but
although they did once in 2017.
They did.
Everything worked out somehow, some way, like right there.
Yeah.
I mean, there is some value there.
So I'm just curious, because maybe they might, now that they have like 3 first-round picks, there's a couple that they can mess with. So
yeah, and I think whether that's messing with and trading them for a quarterback, or messing with them and using it on a quarterback, or using it on a third wide receiver, because I've heard people say, oh, it's bad practice to spend a pick on the same position group 3 years in a row. Sure, if you're anywhere other than the Eagles. It's not like the Eagles have one first-round pick and they spent 3 straight first-round picks on receivers. They have a bunch of first-round picks this year. They have 3, and they made the playoffs. So this is a team that already has shown they can make the playoffs. They can win enough games to make the playoffs. They are, I think, like the 16th best team in the NFL. There were a couple of teams like take Chargers, Ravens, Saints. I think if you restarted the season, they'd probably be better than the Eagles. Like if you started the season right now, I think they'd be better than the Eagles.
Sure.
But the Eagles are a solid football team, and I really like their floor that they have with the rushing attack with Hurts and Sanders and co. And I think they have a good offensive line, and they could be a sneaky. I don't think Kelsey retires this offseason. Might look at it next year. Lane Johnson's still there. Jordan Mailata was a revelation. That is freaking Howie. What's his name? Howie. Why can't I'm blanking on it. Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman had the deal of the season, getting Jordan Mailata on a cheap contract. He's a top 10 tackle, top 5, top 8 tackle in the league. And that's incredible value. He is every bit as good as take Andrew Whitworth, right? I think he's in the same tier of tackle as Andrew Whitworth. And granted, Whitworth is like 42, but same tier of tackle as Andrew Whitworth, same tier of tackle as not quite that Smith, Williams, Stanley, Bakhtiari, but Mailata is in that second tier. He's like the Jack Conklin, Taylor Lewan, Armstead. He's been injured all the time. Like he's a really good tack, and they got a bargain of a deal on that one. So Eagles could be scary. Eagles could be scary.
Eagles,
I would not move off Hurts though.
I think it's a good story that they had last season, that they made the playoffs out of like seemingly nowhere pretty much, and now they have something to build on. So we'll see what they do.
Absolutely. All right, back to the hot takes. Also, if I had to put that on the hot take meter, I'm going to say Cayenne. I think he's going to be the week 1 start at the bare minimum. I don't think you're getting a guy to replace him this season.
Sure.
Maybe you draft like what they did with Hurts in the first place. They drafted him in the 2nd round, just a dart throw, and said, hey, maybe he can beat out Carson Wentz. And turns out he can. Then we have a bunch of underdog posts. If you're interested, tag me at Splash. I will get you some points if you want to bet on tonight's games. But beyond, and my app just crashed. Okay. Anyways, we have a bunch of NBA games. We have a bunch of college basketball games. I actually lost real life money on Wyoming yesterday. I bet on Wyoming. Splash. Basketball. Wyoming basketball.
Splash.
They were a top 25 team, though, so it's not like they sucked. Well, in theory.
No.
They lost to New Mexico. Like, come on now. So I bet on Wyoming. I had a three-way parlay that was Michigan State to beat Penn State, Missouri to beat Arkansas, and I forget who was the better team in that one. And then Wyoming to beat New Mexico. I won 1 out of 3 of those. So that was quite poor, and I was very annoyed. Okay, here we go. This is from Nose. This was
a good one.
This was a good one. This is for 300 points. I'll send him 300 points. He says that the Canadian women will beat the American women in the women's Olympic hockey to claim the gold medal. How do you feel about that, Jack?
You know what? It's tough because these two teams, it's just like they're miles ahead of everybody else right now. It feels like every single Olympic hockey year, these two teams are just like, it's always the US and Canada in the final. Some teams are like making better efforts to catch up to them, but it's right now these guys are just miles ahead of the rest of the competition. I don't know. I really don't know. It kind of depends on the context.
Have you actually been on that take yet? Have you agreed or disagreed with it?
I haven't. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it live.
Okay. Because I have. I think I hit agree. Yeah, I hit agree.
I'm going to disagree. I think that the US is going to learn from their mistakes in the last loss to Canada, because what was the last score? It was like 4-2 or something like that. But there was like an empty net. It might have been an empty net situation. I don't remember. But I think that the US is strong enough to learn from their mistakes, and they're able to keep it close. And we saw last time, obviously last time was all the way back in like 2018, but that went to a shootout, and the US just pulled off some of the most disgusting shootout moves I've ever seen in my life. Like better than the NHL, I'm talking. So it's like,
oh, nothing will ever beat TJ Oshie at the 2014.
Nothing will, but
nothing will.
I mean, she's like what they were doing in like the women's gold medal game shootout was absurd. Like it was almost like it was near Trevor Zegras level if you saw that clip.
Yeah.
So
the Michigan goal. Oh no, not even the Michigan.
The
one
breakaway challenge goal.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You actually didn't you post that? Oh yeah, I watched it. I watched it live. That's right. That was unreal. With the dodgeballs flying in.
With the dodgeballs flying, blindfolded, he's like messing around with the stick. And like the puck on his stick, it was like taped to his stick. It felt like it was ridiculous. So
okay, Jack, I do want to say we missed an opportunity. It's Olympic season. We could have done a tier list on like Olympic logos.
We could have done next week. Next week.
Okay, next week Olympic logos.
We'll do. The Olympics have been going on for a long time though, so we'll have to figure out like winter or summer or whatever it is. But...
Yeah, I mean, but it's only so.
Did you know the LA Olympics for 2028 have like 50 something or 20 something logos? There's like
is it one for each? Is it one for like different sports?
No, it's like different artists or people with connections or whatever to it redesign the letter A, so it like says LA 28.
They just haven't finalized a logo, right?
No, they finalized it. They're using all of them.
Wait, what?
I don't understand it either. I'll explain it later. But
okay, that one is bizarre to me. Because just like quick and dirty math. First, like modern Olympics was 1896. So there's been approximately 30 summer. First winter was 1924 in Chamonix.
This is
so there's about
24th Winter Olympiad.
Yeah, so there's like 24 of those, about 30-ish summer ones, because there were a couple that were missed when World War II. So there's about 50 logos. Do you want to do like we can't do like we would have to.
We'll have to figure it out behind the scenes.
Because I think there are some awesome ones, like the Montreal 76. That was great. I like the Atlanta 96, a bit of a homer pick there. LA 1984 was beautiful. Actually, have I told you the story about the 1984 Olympics?
Which one?
Okay. The McDonald's one.
I don't think you've told that to me.
Okay.
This is story time with Splash here.
Here we go. Story time with Splash. I'm going to cut this too. So in 1984, the Americans hosted the Olympics in Los Angeles, right? Summer Olympics. This was Michael Jordan won was like on the basketball team in 84, I believe, right?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure he was. If not, then I'm way off base. Anyways, the point is that Olympics, McDonald's was running a promotion. And if an American won a gold medal in an event, the next day you could go get a free Big Mac. Or won a gold medal. If they won a silver, you could get fries. If they won a bronze, you could get like a small drink or something, right? So just normal stuff. The problem for McDonald's was that the Soviets boycotted the Olympics. So the Americans
Americans pretty much just steamrolled everybody then.
Yeah.
I think is what you're saying.
Yeah. So the Americans just won record amounts of golds, record amounts of silvers, record amounts of bronzes, just a record amount of medals. And there was no Soviet competition. So they were dominating. So McDonald's lost like tons and tons and tons and tons of revenue because the Taco Bell steal a base, steal a taco thing they do in the World Series. It would be like doing that, and then all of a sudden you're just not allowed. The catcher's not allowed to throw the baseball, so you can steal second base just like that. And every steal you get a free taco. That is essentially what happened. That they not even changed the rules, just the way the Olympics went down.
Just the way it played out was like
with no Soviet Union. That it was an American. I think that was the Flojo Olympic, or is that 88 in Seoul? Anyways, 1984 Olympics, Los Angeles. Great for everyone except McDonald's.
But at least their burgers taste good, so it is what it is.
At least, that's the wrong view.
You shrank me.
I'm sorry. Okay, back to the hot take-o-meter. We have one more hot take. This is from our buddy Chris at U Stadium Fantasy. He says Marquise Brown retires before the start of the 22 NFL regular season.
That is a Pepper X take. That's like
I'm gonna say Carolina Reaper, but I get what you're going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like just that when I heard about that rumor, that just felt so otherworldly. Like what? Like it's just not.
That was so weird. We were doing pre-show yesterday, and he's like, "Hey, Splash, what about this Marquise Brown news?" I'm like, "What Marquise Brown news?" And he's like, "Oh, this dude on Twitter said he might retire." It's like, what? Here's
just some guy on Twitter.
Okay, here's my, I guess, analysis. If there is any truth to it, I don't think there is. If there's any truth to it, I think it is a ploy to make sure he's on that 5th-year option and make sure he gets a contract extension this offseason, because currently we have not accepted or declined his 5th-year deal. We're probably going to, so it's probably just kind of water under the bridge. But I think this is similar to what Kyler's doing in Arizona, that it feels like
a ploy to stick around.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, he's trying to say, hey, bring me my money, right? Bring me that Brinks truck. Word to Jalen Ramsey. I want a comically large amount of money. So I would be shocked if Marquise Brown doesn't play week 1 with the Ravens. I would be unbelievably shocked. The Carolina Reaper 100%.
Your name would be changed back to Sad Splash or Depression or whatever.
I think I would. I really do like Marquise. I think when Lamar was on the field, I'm going on Pro Football Reference right now. I will verify right now. That's Patrick Mahomes. Pro Football Reference. When Marquise Brown was on the football field with Lamar Jackson, it was magic. It was phenomenal. He ended up with 1,000 yards anyways, but keep in mind Lamar missed a third of the season, give or take, and he threw 4 passes in that second Cleveland game, and the sort of production that Hollywood had was just off the charts. All things considered, think of it like a Ravens receiver. There's a lower standard there than with other teams, but he didn't have. Oh my goodness, I hate ads. Okay, so he is at 11 games.
I'm in the middle of trying to call somebody out right now.
Oh boy. Okay. In 11 games with Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown on the field together, 65 catches, 825 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's on pace for 100 catches, 1,275 yards, 9 touchdowns over 17 games. So they would have played 16 games together because Marquise missed the Bears game and Lamar missed the Bears game as well. So over 16 games, they would have played together, 94 catches, 1,200 yards, 8-9 touchdowns. That is very good production, all things considered. Then you think in 11 games with Lamar, he had 50 yards 10 times. In the 5 games with Lamar, either missing 3 quarters or out, he didn't crack 44. He had 41, 43, 44, 28, 27. With Lamar, 69, nice, 113, 53, 91, 125, 35, 80, 116, 37. I guess, 9 out of 11 games, he had at least 50 yards. Then 51, 55. I was winning money off Marquise Brown getting to 50 yards a game. That was great. So I think Marquise he's in line for a big year this year. He said this year he had a bit of a soft 1,000 yard season because he only beat it by 8 yards, and it took him till week 18. I'm sorry. I'm expecting big things out of Marquise Brown. I think I don't want to make any overarching statements about the Ravens because I don't know what the defense is going to be. I don't know what the offensive line is going to be. I don't know what the defense is going to be. But if you get average offensive line play, I think the Ravens are going to have a top 5 offense. I think Lamar is going to get back in there as a top 5-ish quarterback. He was number 6 in my rankings the last time I did them.
As long as they protect him well enough to either run or throw, whatever he wants to do with it, because we know
Dobbins
Lamar
back, you get Edwards back. So you're going to have that elite rushing attack back, because the issue with the Ravens this year was they did not have that speed element other than Lamar Jackson. But Lamar is such a freaky athlete that there's sort of it's like Tyreek Hill, that there's Tyreek Hill speed, and that's just different speed. There's Lamar Jackson speed, and that's just different speed. The agility that he has over the middle of the field is just different, right? The issue was with Murray and Freeman, you couldn't have those back-breaking inverted veer runs that the Ravens are so good at. This is there was one, the 2-point conversion against Cleveland, the Monday night game, Tucker game winner, that game, 47-42. They ran a counter play that if Lamar holds, he's darting right up the middle, but he gave it to Dobbins, and Dobbins got in on the edge. So those kind of plays, that is what makes the Ravens so special, because Lamar is so freaky athletic in the middle of the field that he just makes you miss and gets a bunch of yardage, that a J.K. Dobbins or a Gus Edwards or the guys this year with Murray and Murray and Freeman, that is more of a ground and pound up the middle rather than a split and you're 15 yards down the field. But with Dobbins and Edwards, you can get back to that inverted veer game of Edwards has enough juice around the edge to break off a big run. Dobbins definitely has enough juice. Go back to the 72-yard touchdown against Cincinnati in week 17, 160 yards that game on 12 carries. This is going to be an elite Ravens offense. If again, big if the pass blocking is like a top 10 unit in the NFL, the Ravens will be an elite offense. They will be top 5 points, top 5 yards, among the league leaders in yards per pass attempt, among the league leaders in yards per rush attempt. Again, 3,000 yards rushing is definitely in play. I don't know about the defense. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, they're going to win the division, but I think to me, it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to have a spectacular offense. You get the running backs, you get the 2-star running backs back, you unlock that Lamar Jackson freakiness as an athlete in the middle of the field, and then you bring in the receiving core, and for the first time, there's no turnover, and I'll take the hot take-o-meter down. For the first time, there's no huge turnover in the receiving core for Baltimore, and your top 3 options are the same they were last year. You have Andrews, Bateman, Brown. The last couple years, at least one of those names was changing. Like from 2020 to 2021, you throw Bateman in there, you take out Snead, right? You take out these guys. You take out Hurst between 19 and 20. You take out Crabtree and Smoke Brown, John Brown. That first year, and it's just a revolving door. And this year, you have the 2 running backs back, and I know running backs don't matter, but they will for Baltimore. It's kind of, I've made this analogy before, but it's like an offensive line. There's 3 tiers. This is, I think, that franchise guy quote, but the first tier is like Bengals tier, Dolphins tier, that you are actively hurting yourself every time you run a play. Then there's the middle tier of offensive line that they let you do what you want to do. This is, I would say, the Rams fall into this category. And then there are dominant offensive lines like a Cleveland, like a 2019 Ravens, like a Colts, that they not only let you do what you want to do, but they are what you want to do. So if I think the Ravens, certainly the running backs this year were actively hurting the rushing attack. And at least with Dobbins and Edwards, I'm not saying they're McCaffrey, I'm not saying they're Henry, I'm not saying they're Taylor, but they are at least in that second tier of running backs of they will let you run your offense. I love Freeman. I love Murray. He had a huge game against Pittsburgh. Mad respect there. They're great players long-term, but they did not have the juice. They did not have the necessary skill set to be good running backs, even in a pro running back system, other than week 18 with Murray. So I don't know how I got on the Ravens tangent, but
you went on such a tangent. I was going to say, like, what's the over under on the amount of times you said if there? So
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, I think the Ravens are going to have a very good offense this year. So I can cut that too.
All right, then. That's a clip. There you go. There's your splash rant.
Oh, that's right. Because we asked the Marquise Brown question.
All right. I think we're moving on from hot takes.
Do we want to go into NFL honors now?
Yeah, because like I totally brain farted and forgot that was also a thing that happened this week.
Yes, it was.
So we can talk about that and then we'll talk Super Bowl.
Okay. First off, were there any surprises? Were you like taken off guard by any picks?
I guess I'm gonna bring out the teeny mates now. I had them hidden in the background. We're gonna start out with this guy right here, Mr. Joe Burr. I don't know if it'll focus, but Joe Burr winning comeback player of the year.
I think that's who I would have picked. I know there's a lot of traction for Dak, and Dak was actually the betting favorite.
But I picked Burr to win it, but I was like, Dak's probably got this because like knowing the franchise he plays for, knowing how like badly and early he got hurt last year, it's probably going to be Dak. I want Burrow to win it. It would be cool if Burrow won it, and he did. But I was still a little bit surprised. I thought this
I agree.
Dak's
it was
weird. All over it. So
like
strange one.
I almost feel like Dak was like the next in line to Alex Smith. If they play it down, they will win comeback player of the year. But
yeah,
big shout out to Burrow. I won some points on that on the U Stadium app. MVP, I think, was pretty cut and dry that it was going to be Rodgers. Brady got some love. Cooper Kupp got a vote. And I think
I ended up, I'm not sure how to feel about this.
It was from the Rodgers hater, right?
Yeah, it was from the guy who said he's not going to vote for Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is a jerk. is what he said. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I feel like he was deserving of a little bit more than just one vote. It was nice to see his name up there as much as it was in that discussion at the end. Like, he was pretty much a finalist.
More MVP votes than Russell Wilson.
He does. Oh, God. I can tease Seahawks fans for
Stafford.
life. Unfortunately.
And Kyler. And he has what? There's a linebacker in your division, a defensive tackle in your division. Donald has an MVP vote, right?
He should. I don't know if he has.
I don't know if he does. I know Wagner had one in 2016.
It's just funny how he has more than
Cup
Russ.
Has one. I got to see. Also, is Aaron Donald the greatest defensive player in NFL history? Yes. Or no? Okay.
Yes. Okay. The ring solidified it.
I
think so.
Aaron Donald has never received an MVP vote.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, with how hard it is, that's such a quarterback award. Mm-hmm. Like he's won Defensive Player of the Year 3 times, just pretty much defensive, like MVP for defensive players, I guess.
Yeah. And so here's his accolades. Rookie year, he was Defensive Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowl. Second year, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, second in Defensive Player of the Year. Then All-Pro, Pro Bowl, fourth in Defensive Player of the Year. Then 17-18, back-to-back Defensive Player of the Years, All-Pro, Pro Bowl. 2019, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, fifth in Defensive Player of the Year. 2020, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, Defensive Player of the Year. This year, third in Defensive Player of the Year, All-Pro, Pro Bowl. This man is unreal.
He like did all of that, and like I pretty much compare him to pre-2018 Alex Ovechkin. Like Alex Ovechkin pretty much he's like one of the greatest hockey players of all time now, and he didn't have a Stanley Cup for such a long time. That was like the one thing he was missing, and then he finally got it. And it's like now people are kind of willing to I don't think anybody's really willing to throw him into like the GOAT discussion, because with hockey there's not really much of a discussion. It's Wayne Gretzky.
It's Gretzky.
But I guess like best current player, if you will. Aaron Donald's legitimately in the GOAT conversation. I feel like you can put it there. Like people will say Brady for now, sure, but Aaron Donald
is certainly in the defensive player argument. Like if I'm
everything he's done up to this point in his career was done without a ring. And now he's got a ring, and it came in a postseason. He was awesome
in that Super Bowl.
It came in a postseason where he made game-clinching plays both in the NFC Championship game and in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
He's the greatest player of all time.
Oh, wait.
Defensive player.
Okay. What was about to say?
Greatest defensive player of all time, Aaron Donald, although
I think he's on the short list. I think he's on the short list of defensive players. I made a post yesterday. If aliens are bearing down on, actually this would make a fun video idea. If aliens are bearing down and the fate of the universe happens to fall down to 23 NFL players, Aaron Donald is one of the 23 NFL players I'm choosing. Also Justin Tucker. And also
sounds like you've been watching a lot of what's that show called? NFL Rush Zone. That's kind of how that show works in a way.
I get the Max Kellerman vibes too. Fate of the universe. Aliens have the death beam pointed. Who do you want taking the final shot? Give me Iguodala. Give me Justin Tucker. If everything is about,
if it comes down to a kicker, give me Justin Tucker.
Yeah, if it's coming down to if it's a 4th and 1. And I need to stop. I need a pressure. Aaron Donald. I don't care if they 11 team him. 11 man. If they, what's the like double triple? But if they like 11 team him, if they 11 team Aaron Donald, he trains with knives. He trains with knives while he's holding like a ring on his finger. He is training with knives. Oh my
God, I can picture that now. He's training with like blocking the knives, and he's like blocking with a Super Bowl.
Yeah, just like it's like a shield, but it's like. On his oh man, that's cool.
It's just it turns into a Captain America shield. That would be cool.
We should make that into a shirt. It's just
that would be a cool
comic,
shirt.
like a comic strip of Aaron Donald.
There's like a Rams horn on the front.
Awesome. Man, that would be awesome. But I think he's entering like Mount Rushmore defensive player territory. Like my Mount Rushmore defensive players would probably be Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Ed Reed, and I think Aaron Donald might be 4. He might be 4. And why do I have Ed Reed over Ray Lewis? Because Ed Reed is Ed Reed. That's why.
Ed Reed is a legend. Ed Reed is a legend.
Ed Reed is so good.
What else are we talking here? Donald did not win Defensive Player of the Year this year. That went to TJ Watt. Understandable, honestly.
22 and a half sacks, which is insane.
Yeah, he tied the record. Donald did not tie the record in his 20 sack season, but you don't get that many sacks by accident. So
yeah, as an interior player too, that's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, but TJ Watt
ran away with it. Parsons got second.
I'm not mad.
I'm sure you probably wish Donald got it over Parsons for second place, but it happens.
Parsons, like he was on a tear this year though, and like he was the only unanimous winner ever of defensive rookie.
Yeah, I saw that and I was shocked.
That was kind of shocking. Like they said it like he won it unanimously, and I was like, whoa, now.
Yeah, it's like with 50 people, with 50 people in these votes, that like Lamar was unanimous MVP. Brady was unanimous MVP. Like not even 2013 Peyton was unanimous because one idiot picked Brady. I don't know what the thought process was there, but yeah. Speaking of Brady, he was second in MVP voting to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, fourth MVP. Only Peyton has more. Peyton won 5, 03, 04, 08, 09, and 13. Aaron Rodgers, 4-time MVP. How do you feel about that?
It was pretty obvious he was going to win it. Mm-hmm. I thought that maybe Brady might get a little bit of extra love because he was retiring, but
yeah, the votes are done right after the regular season.
Yeah, so again, it's a regular season award, so it wouldn't have really mattered.
Speaking of regular season award, Cooper Triple Crown
Cup.
Led the league in receptions, yards, receptions, yards, touchdowns, then dominated in the playoffs too. Playoffs don't matter for Offensive Player of the Year, but he did beat out Jonathan Taylor. I agree. I thought they were co-favorites coming in. Both of them were minus 110, but Cup just had
a ridiculous season. And especially when you look at the just the season as a whole, and right when it came down to the wire as well. Mm-hmm. I feel like the week 18 performance from Jonathan Taylor might have cost him that award. That was, yeah. You can see what Splash is doing right now. That was an ungodly choke. So, yeah. I think that
was there a sound effect there?
I think there was.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I was saying, if there was anything that cost Taylor that award, it was that game, that performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think if he comes out and runs for like 150, remember what Derrick Henry did to Houston week 17 a couple of years ago? Just absolutely, it went for like 250 to get to 2,000 yards, 2027, but 2 to win that darn game and clinch the division. That's what you need to do in a big spot like Cooper Kupp. Had a good game against.
Did Cooper Kupp ever have a bad game this season? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I think there was like maybe one game or 2 games where he didn't have a touchdown, and in both of those games he made like huge game-altering
like
catches.
100 yards almost every week.
If he didn't have a touchdown, he was making an impact in some other way.
I have a stat for you. Other than him, only Antonio Brown was 16 for 16 getting 50 yards. Cooper Kupp is 17 for 17, and then tackle the 4 playoff games.
Which is actually a stat that's harder to do in a longer season.
Yes,
so there you go.
Yeah, 21 games in a row with at least 50 yards, which is I would
absurd.
Go back to last year, but that is just magnificent.
Absurd.
That is special. We're gonna have wide receiver conversations, and I know you're gonna rank him higher than I do, and that's just more of a traits thing. But the production this year was unmatched. The production this year was unmatched. Could you argue that? If Tyreek Hill had 190 targets, he would have done that.
I need to find this picture.
Maybe, but Kupp did it. And this is a Michael Thomas thing a couple years ago. I was okay with saying Michael Thomas was the best wide receiver in the NFL. Kupp is the most productive receiver in the NFL at this point. Maybe not receiver 1, but that's a story for another time. We're gonna have plenty of offseason, and yep, absolutely plenty of offseason to talk about it. So Jack,
I need to find this picture. It's pretty much like the biggest flex of all time. Let me open it really quick.
Although on the subject of the wide receiver,
Cooper Kupp holding the Lombardi Trophy wearing a Kobe jersey.
The rest of
Name a bigger flex. You can't. I will wait.
That is a large arm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mans has been in his bag.
That's crazy.
Ooh. Okay. So With that said, defensive rookie of the year, unanimous with Parsons. Offensive rookie of the year, Jamar Chase, ran away with that.
Unquestionable.
I will say, props to the voters. A couple of them voted for Creed Humphrey. A couple of them voted for Sean Slater. Good job.
They made it interesting. They did, but it was pretty
Chase
much
ran away with it.
Jamar Chase
I actually had his stats up yesterday. 80 plus catches, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. He was just ridiculous, man. I know the Bengals are going to get some crap for how poorly the offensive line played. I get it. I do. But Chase wasn't the issue, and then Chase has never been the issue. That's what people don't – I don't think people understand sometimes that you are allowed to draft multiple players in a draft. Like, if you take Jamar Chase at 5, right, you can take offensive linemen later in the draft. The Bengals actually did. They just happened to take trash ones, Jackson Carman, Dante Smith, and Trey Hill. They ranked 34th, 36th, and 37th among rookies in PFF grade. That's bad. That's very bad. There were like 12 or 15 guys that were taken after Carman that were available at 46, that if you just take them, you're probably not in this situation. If you just take Creed Humphrey at 46, they ended up with, you're good. If you take Trey Hill in the 5th, or not Trey Hill, Trey Smith. If you take Trey Smith in the 5th round, 1, awesome value. 2, would have been your starting right guard in that Super Bowl. 3, you win the Super Bowl with Trey Smith. I don't know how much of a hot take that is. They win the Super Bowl if Trey Smith is in that game instead of Hakeem Adeniji. Like, I get there's other things. Adeniji was one of the worst, if not the single worst player, let alone offensive lineman, let alone right guard the entire season. And Trey Smith was very good. Even average Trey Smith, even like 70 PFF grade Trey Smith would have been so valuable in that situation. Adeniji allowed 7 pressures. I'm not saying Trey Smith is not allowing any pressure, but the difference in winning that game might have been if Trey Smith allows 4 pressures or 5 pressures, they win that game. I'm just saying that's
right.
what I'm saying.
All right. What awards have we not touched on yet?
Coach of the year, Mike Vrabel. Good job, NFL. You got it right.
Good, got that one right. I predicted Vrabel for a while. Shame that they went out.
Was Dan Quinn. So cool, Dan Quinn. Congratulations, defensive coordinator with the whatchamacallits, the Cowboys. Yes, still. Anything else? We have. Andrew Whitworth.
Andrew Whitworth won Walter Payton Man of the Year. That was cool. It's not like you can make a prediction for who wins that award because that's like for off the field impacts. But he's donated over $500,000 to off the field causes during his time with the Rams, which is major kudos, major props.
That's awesome.
So it might be his last. It might be his last season. He might. It feels like I'm getting a pretty strong feeling that he's going to call it quits at some point during this offseason. But
he might get a nice or a large exodus of players there. With Whitworth retiring, Weddle probably out. Weddle's out, right?
Weddle said he's out. Weddle said he's done.
Whitworth is probably out.
Yeah.
the Donald rumors before the game, I thought that was the total BS.
I laughed. I genuinely laughed. I was like,
the Aaron Donald rumors is the equivalent of walking to a cow pasture, finding a bull, and watching it defecate.
Pretty much.
Simple.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say this about Whitworth. For one thing, I'm glad that they let him play the Super Bowl wearing the Walter Payton Man of the Year patch on his jersey. That was a nice touch. And 2, if that's the only game he ever plays wearing that jersey, so be it. He went on top. He got a ring.
Yes, he did. Also, shout out to Ravens legend Eric Weddle. Good job,
see Eric Weddle playing.
Eric Weddle was gnarly those last 2 weeks.
Oh, it was awesome.
Are there any other Ravens legends on the Rams? I don't think so.
Marcus Peters is a Rams legend on the Ravens.
Yes. I guess technically Von Miller is a Ravens legend because you laid the foundation for the Von Miller trade with the Kenny Young trade, and you got Kenny Young in the Marcus Peters trade. That's a very
I guess the only other highlight from the awards their honors that we haven't touched on yet. How about that intro to the show? That was fantastic. It was Keegan Michael Key was the host, and they just like had this huge song going. He was like singing. Players were in on it. Gronk was in on it. Roger Goodell, we found out he could sing. That was hilarious. So I enjoyed that.
Roger. All right. Roger. Now, one thing I saw at the Super Bowl was Roger talking to Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson was he was there. They did a little they honored Andrew Whitworth before the game. Russell Wilson got on the mic and said like congrats to him and stuff, which is classy of him, by the way, because division rival. So really
also a Fortnite legend, Dwayne Johnson with the intro.
The guy from Fortnite, Dwayne Johnson with the intro.
That was beautiful.
Not as cool.
He was in Fortnite, but that was
not as cool, I will say, as Michael Buffer with the "Let's Get Ready to Rumble." But The Rock is still pretty cool. I'm not going to deny that. What else we got? I guess
like the halftime show.
Oh, I love the halftime.
Yeah,
here's the thing.
I thought it was good.
I could back to my roller coaster of emotions during this game because it was 10-13 at the half. The Rams were in front. 13-10. Sorry, I need to say it properly.
Yes, you do. Get deleted.
I wasn't really thinking about the halftime show. I was like bopping my head like it was good music. I was enjoying it. I was enjoying Eminem. I liked the surprise appearance from 50 Cent.
I like
50, but yeah, my mind was just elsewhere.
Did you see the take that Zalafar, the Niners fan, made on the app that he said 50 Cent would make an appearance and he won like 3,500 points?
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because no one agreed with him. So he was the only person. That was so funny to me.
That's hilarious.
I thought it was cool. I know I'm not the demographic that it was going after because it was like a LA.
It's like really LA.
Yeah, like old, like slightly older than us, right? Like maybe I don't know, 25 to 35.
I still haven't even really zeroed in on the demographic it was going for. Definitely not my type, but
yeah, maybe like 10 years older than us.
Yeah, probably. But it was still good. I enjoyed it. They had to open with Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, which I like. I liked Snoop Dogg's like outfit. It was Rams colors, so that was cool.
That was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's just I can enjoy it more when I watch the replay because it was still a good halftime show and it was nice to see some of the surprises live. But at the same time, when you have a team playing in the Super Bowl and they're only leading by 3 points and the Bengals are getting the ball back to start the next half, my mind is just on a completely different spot.
Yeah. And then first play of the second half, Burrow, Ramsey gets turned into a...
Give me one moment. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to take a stab here and say that Jack is... Okay, I'm going to take a stab and say Jack is getting a helmet.
I'm just grabbing something.
Is he getting a helmet to display what happened on that play?
Yes, that's exactly
I got
what
it right.
Doing.
There we go.
Your take hit. Congratulations.
Yeah. How many points?
This is a football helmet, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a
football helmet.
You will go. Let's go full screen.
There you go. Splash, I want you to tell me what this part is right here on the front.
I think that's called the face mask.
Yes, that's exactly what that's called. And this is my imitation of what T. Higgins did to Jalen Ramsey's face mask. Something along that line. And you can exit full screen now, but yeah. I'm just gonna say this right now. Thank God the Rams won this game because if we lost the Super Bowl, that would have been the image of T. Higgins grabbing Jalen Ramsey's face mask would have been my profile pic everywhere. I would have been going off for like the entire offseason.
Understood.
Oh boy.
Hey, mine's been on U Stadium. Mine's been the NFL draft logo for a month now.
So yeah, well, you've given up already, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Yeah, that was ugly. I was upset, but I was like, you know what? It's what would that make the score? 17-13.
Yeah, 17-13.
So just
Stafford threw a pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get right back out on the field, do your job, and then Stafford throws an interception. And my anger.
Was it Awuzie? I think it was Awuzie. Awuzie comes away with it off the deflection.
Off of Ben Skoranek dropping another touchdown. Man. Or not touchdown, but another pass. It's like this dude in the NFC Championship had a wide open touchdown. Like literally the 49ers were practicing social distancing against him and he dropped it. And he again, this was a much shorter pass. Did the same thing here. And it was just like, oh man. Ben Skoranek. I like him. I think he maybe has potential, but you can't be dropping passes in the big games like that.
It's like, nope.
The only reason he's even catching a pass in the Super Bowl is because Odell's hurt, by the way.
And Robert Woods is hurt.
Yeah. So like with Odell out of the Super Bowl, I'm kind of thinking, we might be in trouble here because Van Jefferson's not on his game. They're locking down Cooper Kupp. And you got Higbee out of the game.
I'm going to say a name that really impressed me. This was Bryson Hopkins.
Yes, Bryson. I love seeing Bryson Hopkins.
Fourth-round pick in 2022 or in 2020. He's a guy that he's
been sticking it out. He's been sticking it out on the inactives list for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And to see him finally get a shot, and then in the Super Bowl, no less.
Yeah, he had one career catch. Do you know how many yards he had coming in? I do. How many yards do you think he had coming into the Super Bowl? One catch.
2.
He had 2 yards. Had one catch for 9 yards.
9 yards. Okay, I underestimated him a little bit there.
One catch for 9 yards, and he goes for 4 catches, 40 yards in the Super Bowl. And the most important thing he did, he got the sealing block on the edge on Kupp's rush first down, like on the last drive.
Yeah.
On that play with like 3 minutes to go, 4th and 1, right? That you went for it. Like he was the guy that made the down block on the offensive line. Or
biggest fourth down of all those people's lives, pretty much right there. Who were you thinking?
Oh, he had the down block on, was it Hendrickson or Hubbard on the edge? And
don't remember. I think it was Hendrickson actually, but okay, doesn't matter. He got the job done, and
yes, he did.
Geez, that last drive. Can you believe that point? That botched extra point actually ended up mattering.
Yeah,
but they missed they goofed up an extra point, so it was only. I will admit it was pretty funny to see that the Rams were leading the Super Bowl 13-3 after they lost their last Super Bowl 13-3. I thought that was kind of funny.
And the Bengals were doing the same thing. They lost their last Super Bowl 20-16, and they were leading 20-16 for a chunk.
They were. That was the score for most of the second half, and I was like, just. Thank goodness. This is why this game further adds to the narrative. Defense wins championships.
Yes, it does.
Because the only reason the Rams were able to really win this game is because, or not, I won't say the only reason, but one of the reasons is because the defense stepped up when they needed to.
Question. Do you know how many Rams had at least 3 pressures?
5.
6.
6.
Here we go. Vaughn. Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis, ladies and gentlemen.
Wrong AD. Vaughn, Aaron Donald, Greg Gaines, A'Shawn Robinson, Ernest Jones, and Leonard Floyd.
Shout out to A'Shawn Robinson. He just completely shut the run game down. Like Zach, they were talking about on the broadcast how Zach Taylor just refused to run the football with but Mixon or really anybody when A'Shawn Robinson was on the field. So,
you guys really all the same strategy because you had one of the worst rushing performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was disgusting. It was one of the worst run games. Like I literally was on Twitter, like every other possession, it felt like just spamming, stop running the ball, running the ball.
Second and 1. It's like every other team in the history of the NFL can run the ball here. The Rams physically could not pick up yards on the ground.
Do you know how frustrating it was? Like it got to the point where
I made a take that the Bengals would have a bunch of rush attempts and the Rams just wouldn't run the ball, and they decided to run the ball, and they couldn't run the ball.
They weren't. And you know what? One of my complaints was because most of the runs were with Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson. They were getting the majority of the carries. And I was like, where the hell is Sony Michel?
Yeah, exactly.
Where was Sony Michel? And then he comes into the game and he does just about as well as Hendo and Akers do. And I'm just like, oh, it's this game. It's going to be this kind of game.
Run with Stafford.
I'm pretty sure Stafford was our leading rusher in this game. I could be wrong.
For a long time. I think he had 14 yards. Was it 14? He had like one nice scramble. And other than that, it was like, this team can just not run the bloody ball. I could not believe it. I could not believe it.
But
you got the dub. That's
this is why. That's not where I was going. We're gonna get there. I'm working my way there. This is why the Los Angeles Rams traded 2 first-round picks and Jared Goff to the Detroit Lions for a certain quarterback, bringing back the teammate here, named Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford, in the most clutch situation of his life, his whole life. I'm not even kidding here, because he spent 12 years with the Detroit Lions doing nothing but losing pretty much.
And come on now. He had some moments.
He had his moments. He definitely had his moments. I'm not discrediting those moments. I'm just saying, like, you know, what noteworthy things did the Detroit Lions do?
Megatron broke the receiving yards record. They made the Lions making the playoffs is noteworthy. They made it 3 times.
That's true. They made it 3 times. But other than that, like Stafford, is now in his first Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is why the Rams, this was the guy that the Rams centered their whole all-in thing around, was this trade, this quarterback trade.
Right.
He needs to go out there with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game and deliver a touchdown. Field goal's not going to win it. You're down by 4.
He did twice.
He did. And that is exactly what the Rams got done. Stafford to Cooper Kupp, the connection was electric. And he connected with guys. Skoranek got a catch late. That was pretty cool. Bryson Hopkins got a catch. He was making it work. It wasn't just Cooper Kupp. Granted, Cooper Kupp still delivered. He was the man of the show, but it wasn't just Cooper Kupp.
Man of the hour.
It just shows you that like you need literally everybody to win the Super Bowl. And they made it happen. A bunch of penalties on that last drive, and I was like, I wasn't mad about it in the heat of the moment. I was like, okay, they just keep resetting our downs, so it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, that was really weird. Like the offsetting penalties, or the one that I think the one of the Bengals, the Wilson PI, it looked like Havenstein got like a 5-second head start at right tackle. Like he went out of his set so early that you could probably have paused it, and he's like in his stance, like 10 feet back. It's like, bro, what is happening here? That was so strange.
Such a weird sequence.
And the offset. Oh man!
But
the offsetting
Cooper
plays
Kupp,
on the first Kupp catch.
Cooper Kupp made it happen though. They got the catch, and then this is where my mind is just like defense. And as soon as the kickoff goes in the end zone, Aaron Donald sprints out onto the field, and it's just like there is nobody in the world more ready to go win a Super Bowl than 99.
Yeah. And I would argue Von Miller, but he'd already won one. So
there you go.
Okay. Well, I want to take a moment to talk about Von Miller, because I said maybe 2 years ago, he had like a bit of a down 2019 season. Then he was like out for all of last year. And I'm like, it might be time to close the book on Von Miller as an elite player. Then he was I think he's the best. Was the best
breaking
player.
News?
Breaking what?
Uh-oh. Sounds like Zach Taylor is getting an extension through 2026.
Oh, wait.
The Bengals.
I think we knew that, right?
No, it says today.
Like that was
I guess it was something that became official today. I'm not 100% sure.
Hey, some people, they were talking about it earlier on the show.
Well, we'll touch on it later anyway. I'm pretty sure we're going to get to the coaching. Podcast.
Yeah, I don't know why Frankie sent 4 alert emojis in the chat.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what's going on?
Okay. Strange.
We'll definitely touch on the coaching at some point.
Von Miller might be the greatest defensive player in the playoffs ever.
The Vonster, yes.
If
he turned back the clock, I'm gonna say,
that was more pressures, 2 sacks. He has 4.5 sacks in 2 Super Bowls. No, people, he did not play in Super Bowl 48. I checked. He did not play in Super Bowl 48. Von Miller's on the short list. If you're making an all Super Bowl team, Von was already on the Super Bowl, or already on that team just because of what he did in Super Bowl 50. But I think he might be the greatest defensive player ever in Super Bowl history. Like I think that is a legitimate.
I honestly think that's a legitimate argument. I think you have a very, very legitimate
totally
argument.
Legit. That man, he is.
But that's only because Aaron Donald's played in 2. So,
well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't know what the heck. I don't know what the breaking news was.
I'm confused here. It looks like it's. I don't know, because like Rappaport says it was like today or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Weird.
I don't know either.
Again, we'll touch on that. We'll touch on the coaching though, so we'll talk about Zach Taylor at some point for sure. Where are you going?
I was going to say that I thought Sean Taylor got out. Or Sean Taylor. Wow, I just mixed up.
Sean Taylor. Geez.
Yeah, I thought Sean McVay got out, got run circles around for 2 quarters. And then Zach Taylor showed his true colors, and the Bengals did absolutely jack squat for a quarter and a half. And then Sean McVay got in his back again. So I think there was a moment that Zach Taylor was out coaching Sean McVay. So
I agree with you, honestly. I think there was a little bit of a moment.
A lot of credit to Zach Taylor, because I've been perhaps the biggest Zach Taylor hater. But he had a game plan that put the Bengals up in the Super Bowl. He did not execute and did not change that game plan down the stretch, but he did have a good game plan, and the Bengals were leading in large part because he had a good game plan to start. Couldn't make adjustments in that last drive. Oh, man. I know the offensive line started selling a lot, but
I was kind of falling into like
call different plays then.
Like, you got me thinking about the Sean McVay quote after the last Super Bowl that he played in, or it was 53, where he said he felt like he got out coached, like he over prepared a little bit much, and you kind of get away from the things that got you to the Super Bowl in the first place. I can guarantee you this time he did not forget the things that got him there. He kind of just realized
he leaned too far into them with the whole rushing attack.
And then he kind of realized, like, I have the greatest defensive player maybe ever on my team.
And then you have another
Super Bowl player, maybe
future Hall of Famer. You have two guys that if they retire tomorrow, there are very few. I mentioned this on the earlier show that there are very few guys, maybe like 10 guys, that if they retire tomorrow, they are easy Hall of Fame inductions. The Rams have two of them that are playing next to each other half the time. What? Like, that is the equivalent of like Antonio Brown and Rob Gronkowski in the same offense with Tom Brady, right? Or like, it was ridiculous. And just two guys, both of them in their bags. Like, Aaron Donald's still the best player in the world. Von Miller, he's going to be back in my top 100. That is so exciting, man. I'm so excited for the offseason. Baseball's coming back. NBA stuff is ramping up. And I have so many football things I'm thinking about.
So many football things. Now the offseason's here, we got that Madden tournament coming up soon. So I'm hyped to do that, all that sort of stuff too. Do we just talk coach? Or I guess I should finish my roller coaster of emotions story, because like I was just like sending all my energy possible to the defense. Like, just do your jobs, do everything you need to do. Jalen Ramsey gave me a heart attack.
Here's my vision. I'm thinking you're like in your room with like a piece of paper or a bunch of like things that represent these players, and you're like, don't ask me why I have mozzarella cheese right next to me, but it's your time, buddy. Let's go. We're gonna go win the Super Bowl. We're gonna go. I was not sponsored.
That was your
not sponsored.
That was your vision of me. I hate to say it's completely inaccurate because I wasn't saying anything. I was just like,
really.
I was saying a little bit of things.
I'm very much like an active person. Like, when I
yell
the game,
when the play happens. I wait for the play to actually happen. Yeah, I guess I sort of said a couple let's goes. I was just like, just when the play happened.
I'm like, all right, Rams, do it. Aaron Donald, it's your time, baby.
Waiting, like, just as soon as they took the snap, as soon as the Bengals took the snap, I was just like yelling at the Rams pass rush, just push. And then freaking Jalen Ramsey almost ruins the game.
Oh man, Ramsey fell down.
Not even that. Like, he tried to jump Jamar Chase's route at first, and went go for the pick. ESPN was like internationally broadcasting the game in English or something like that, and one of them said selfish play. I won't say selfish play, but definitely the wrong play to make in that moment, because
and that's a play that if you just bat the ball down, you win the game. If you just play good coverage, you win the game. It's like, I don't think
like I don't even want to say like
you need the ball there.
I'm saying not selfish because he's trying to win a Super Bowl. Like, if he picks that off, you win the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, but if he does anything, he wins the Super Bowl, other than get burned.
Yeah, and
he put himself.
I think he only got burned because he tried to jump the route, and
I think that was a problem. Like, I think he had a little bit of a lapse in judgment to try to make that play there.
Yeah, and to be fair, when emotions are running high like that, heat of the moment, you realize maybe we haven't seen the play as good as Ramsey did. He was on the field when it happened,
right,
so
yeah.
he probably thought he saw an opportunity he had, and maybe he did. I don't know. I'm not Jalen Ramsey, but
right.
Just a mistake.
Then you would have been on the field.
Exactly.
How cool would it be to play in a Super Bowl?
That'd be crazy. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Heat of the moment. I'm not gonna be mad at him. I think I'll talk more about Ramsey in a minute, Bill. But then they stopped him on the third down and one rush. They stopped. It wasn't even Joe Mixon. It was who was the running back?
Piran.
Yeah. I was a little bit confused why Mixon wasn't in there, and Pirine got stopped, and obviously they're going to go for it on fourth down. I'm thinking maybe they're just going to rush the ball. If Mixon's not on the field, They're going to give the ball to Joe Burrow and do a QB sneak or something like that. And then they do a pass play. Ramsey slips, and Jamar Chase is wide open. But he doesn't have enough time to throw the football because Mr. 99 is right there to throw him to the ground, just like he did to Jimmy Garoppolo 2 weeks prior. And then it's just like, let it all out, baby. Super Bowl champions. Point to the ring finger. I was just oh, sorry, I gotta hold the helmet and then point to the ring finger. Yeah, that's what Aaron Donald did.
Mm-hmm. What a goat. Unreal. Congratulations, Shaq. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for the Rams organization. Happy for Odell, Stafford, Woods.
Screw Stan Kroenke, though.
Facts.
But
everyone
else.
But Stan Kroenke. I'm down. I
don't like how they give it to the owners. They don't look. They give the Lombardi to the owners on the podium. That's a little bit dumb. They should give it to the players.
Well, yeah, of course. But Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp, congratulations. Exciting times all around.
You could have given it to Stafford. You could have given it to Donald. But I completely understand why they chose.
Hey, Kupp. at least your leading Super Bowl MVP guy wasn't Johnny Hekker.
That's true. Like it was last time.
Okay, how bad of a game do you think it would have to be for a punter to legitimately get it?
Terrible.
Because any defensive play, let's say there's a pick six or a couple interceptions.
Remember in 2020? Remember in 2020 the Rams Bears Monday night game?
Yes.
Where everyone was Johnny Hekker was the star of the show. Mm-hmm. If that was the Super Bowl and it was an AFC team instead of the Bears, that's the game where you give Johnny Hekker MVP.
Okay.
So something like that, if you have an idea.
I could see it. All right, let's do a little recap. We have some non-football breaking news. We cover.
Should I show this pic really quick before we jump in?
Oh yes, 100%.
I'm gonna call out the people who said nobody showed up to the Rams parade today. What is that? Yeah, all 12 Rams fans there. Splash. Everybody showed up. That is a shirtless Aaron Donald lifting the Lombardi Trophy.
No, honestly, the Chargers are the ones with 12 fans. I will say, I saw a tweet that it was there would have been more fans if the St. Louis Rams had won. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but
doubt it. Hard pass. I do respect. There are some St. Louis fans out there that followed the team to LA. I respect you guys, but yeah, the fact that you're saying nobody was showing up is like a false narrative. They're spreading. Pictures are spreading around news. That took place after fake news. That took place after the parade had passed by certain areas, and fans were literally chasing the buses down. It was crazy. So,
oh man, what a time to be alive. All right, let's do a little round the table with some other sports. MLB news: lockout still in effect. We don't know when baseball is going to be back. Hopefully it's back soon. Nick mentioned it earlier that it might be back soon. So we are going to start ramping up some MLB coverage. Exciting. Jack, let us know what's going on in the world of hockey.
A couple big trades that went on. Former LA King Tyler Toffoli has been acquired by the Calgary Flames as of late. He went from Montreal to Calgary. He scored in his first game. And it's showing the Pacific Division is kind of starting to ramp up a little bit here. It's not the strongest division in hockey right now. I think it's actually the worst right now by some metrics. But
ouch.
I think
aren't the Red Wings in the playoff picture? They're not obviously not in the Pacific.
They could be. I don't remember entirely. But the big story is tonight. Actually, the game might have already started, or if it didn't start by now, it's starting later tonight. Mr. Jack Eichel is making his Vegas Golden Knights debut. So, I'm a little bit sour because it's Jack Eichel on Vegas, and Vegas is just dominant as always. But
right,
I am happy for Jack
Eichel.
Eichel.
Calgary has more points than they do. So
interesting.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize.
Well, I think that might be a games in hand deal or whatever, something like
that. No, yeah, Calgary has 2 games in hand.
Ah, interesting. Well,
looks like it. Yeah.
Let me look at the standings really quick. We'll do a quick standings update.
Yeah. So Calgary's played 46 games. Vegas has played 48. Calgary has 60 points. Vegas has 59.
Tampa Bay, unsurprisingly, leading the Atlantic.
And then there's a 3-way tie for third with Edmonton, your Kings, and the Ducks.
the mess for the wild card race in the West is just going to be crazy. The Kings are in the middle of it. The Oilers are in the middle of it. The Wild Avalanche, or not the Avalanche.
There's like a gap
the Blues.
Like right now, it's in the Central. It's Colorado, Minnesota, St. Louis, and like those three spots. And then the Predators are the first wild card. Then the second wild card is a tie, as far as I can tell, a tie between the Kings and the Ducks, both at 55 points. But the Kings have one game in hand. And then you look up and you say, well, if the Kings or Ducks move up, they're not moving from like the 8th seed. They're moving up to the Pacific 3 spot and jumping Edmonton. So that's quite interesting how that
it's such a big battle here. Now that the All-Star break is over, there's going to be a lot of like close moves that are going to take place here. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. Who else Calgary's leading the Pacific. Vegas trails, but they'll probably take the lead is my prediction. The Wild are out of a wild card spot. The Blues are third.
Yeah, the Wild have jumped up. They're the second seed in the Central. That's tight there in the Central. Minnesota, St. Louis,
really
Nashville,
tight. Like Colorado's running away with it right now. They have 72 points, but Minnesota has 63. The Blues have 61.
And my beloved Red Wings are 8 points out of a playoff spot.
Look at this Pacific race.
I know, right?
It's like 60 points, 59 points, and then like 3 teams with 55.
Like if Vancouver or San Jose go on a hot streak, like if they win 3, 4, 5 games in a row, all of a sudden they're right there.
It's crazy.
Seattle is sad.
Poor Seattle. Seattle's having a much more. They're having a debut that's more like Vegas was supposed to. Yeah.
Vegas was just built different, frankly. Just built absolutely.
Do you know how many goalies they went through in their first year, and they just kept winning? Like so many goalies were just getting hurt or like whatever happened, and they just kept finding ways to win games.
I can pull up a list because I thought a lot of it was Flurry and Leonard.
It was more towards the end, but I just dropped one of my teammates.
It's so funny. Their first season was 17-18. That is wild. They won 51 games as an expansion franchise. That's like a once in a lifetime. They had 5 goalies play. Fleury played 46 games. Malcolm Subban played 22. Maxime Lagasse played 16. Oscar Dansk played 4. And Tyler Ferguson played 1.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs, it was just Fleury.
I'm pretty sure it was just Fleury. As salty as I am about how the playoffs went.
And then Malcolm Subban was 0 for 13 on saving shootouts. I don't know how does that happen?
He saw a lot of shootout
0 for 13? Yikes.
0 for 13. That's not good at all, jeez.
No.
Ouch. Yeah. That's pretty much the hockey talk I got. But to follow the Calgary,
I got some basketball. We did have the James Harden Ben Simmons trade. That was huge. Other than that, Julius Randle stayed put. Damian Lillard stayed put. Bradley Beal stayed put. Karis LeVert ended up in Cleveland. Good move for the Cavs. Kristaps Porzingis is a member of the Wizards now. Fun day. We did cover, if you want more on the Harden Simmons trade, we did not 1, not 2, but 3 separate videos about it. With Jake and I were live Thursday night. Zach and I were live right when it happened. And then Friday, the Sonny Carton show, he was talking about it. So lots of NBA stuff there. And we even have some Champions League stuff. My Parisians, Paris Saint-Germain, the latest game-winning goal against Real Madrid ever in the knockout rounds. 94th minute, Kylian Mbappe, a solo goal down the left side, cutting it, unreal. Like 93 minutes, like 10 seconds, and he just finds the net. It was just
I saw the app was kind of blowing up about it, so I was like, you know what, we might as well talk about some UCL.
Like updates. I made a take, and I said this game is going to end scoreless because I'm a what's the word I'm looking for? A pessimistic PSG fan. 94th minute winner, I will happily lose points and get a 94th minute winner. But allez-vous Paris. That's all I have to say about that. Allez-vous Paris.
We had a 5-0 blowout. Jeez, that was Man City getting a win.
Ouch.
I see all these aggregate games. I'm thinking, jeez. Good luck coming back from that. Like 5-0. That's ugly. That was Man City getting the win.
Hey. PSG blew a 4-0 lead just a couple of years ago on my birthday. How do you lose 6-1 on my birthday, no less?
Soccer's crazy.
Those fools had to score 3 goals in like the 92nd minute. They score the 4th one. So at this point, it's 5-4 PSG on aggregate. So to win, Barca has to score 2 more times because PSG has the away goals. Then they strike twice in the dying moments of the game. And I just couldn't believe that they had enough time to do all that. And it was just so sad to see like PSG collapse like that. Because they won 4-0 at Parc des Princes, and then they go to the Camp Nou and just sadness. On my birthday.
Imagine if like a team loses a Super Bowl on your birthday, for example, or something like that. Like that's
I don't know any events that happened close enough to my birthday for that, but that was just so sad. Do you need to fact check that? I think it was it was the day before my birthday.
Okay.
So I was celebrating my
Not
birthday.
As bad.
Yeah, and they blew it. How do you let them score 3 times after the 88th minute?
Splash is in pain. I'm getting the.
I'm in pain.
I'm in pain, folks.
I'm in Spain without the S.
Spain without the S.
Yes.
Okay.
And if I wasn't so close to my little thing, I would say I'm in Spain without the A and try to do a spin, but I would whack my leg on this. But
I don't think I have enough room to do a spin.
I don't think I would have. I think my cord would like screw up.
Yeah, my cord would screw me up. So. We made it, folks.
I did a spin. All right. Speaking of spinning, let's put some rapid RPMs. Let's get that spider tack. We are going to play some baseball, boys. Throw it up, Jack. MLB
tier this time,
Stadium tier list. Let's go.
So I don't recognize all of these immediately, but I guess I recognize some of them. Like this first
Jack,
one is.
You had to do it. You had to do this to all of us. Okay.
I did, unfortunately. I have a list of names, so the pictures might help.
Honestly, I wish you had just gone with the logos, and I could have gone with the teams from there.
You know what? I think there actually is one with logos.
Okay, I would do that. I would just go with the logos
if you give me just one moment here.
I think both of us can like visualize the stadiums, but it's hard to.
I can't visualize all of them, unfortunately.
Well, I can visualize some. Like I can give you defining characteristics of some of them at least. Right.
I guess there's some that I name. Let me find it really quickly. I know there was one. I was looking at one earlier that had the logos.
Doobie doo ba.
It says I don't know how long it'll be valid, but those are that's completely understandable because we're in the middle of a lockout, so I don't know how long anything is going to be valid in the MLB. But here we go. And boom. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Oh, that's not what I was going for, but it works just perfectly. And I think I'm gonna do the timeless tradition of me changing my. Okay. Thoughts on Matt Harvey before we dive in? Did you see what happened?
Was it in relation to the Tyler Skaggs stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really digested that whole thing.
Yeah, that was very sad. I don't know how much. Well, I guess Harvey. I don't know how much Harvey is to blame, but it sucks.
Yeah, it definitely sucks. The whole thing is like
I understand there has to be a victim here. There has to be like a bad guy, but it sucks that it's Harvey. That Harvey is looped in, and it sucks that Tyler Skaggs isn't pitching for the Angels anymore. So that.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Rest in peace.
So we've got. I'm not sure how accurate it says. It was accurate as of 2022. Yeah, Great American Ballpark. I know is still relevant.
They all look okay. It's guaranteed. Is it still guaranteed rate?
Guaranteed.
It's Truist Park.
Truist Park.
Yeah, Oracle. instead of it was 18. Is it 18? No,
it was AT&T. It was AT&T.
Was?
Chase. Okay. Yeah, it was.
Okay, I think it's good.
Yeah, it looks
T-Mobile. Good. Okay, yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I can pretty much picture most of these now.
All right. So Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. I think it's just like an average ballpark. I think it's we've got
the E and the F tier this time around, by the way, so that's fun.
I feel like it should be a C, maybe a D tier. I don't know how highly we're gonna rank a lot of these, but I think it's just kind of like an average ballpark. I think if you described baseball and you described a field that baseball is played on, and someone like just thought of it, I think Great American Ballpark is a fair one. I think that's just like perfectly average.
Sure, I can agree with that. Angel Stadium, in my opinion, I think Angel Stadium is it could be a pretty high tier place. I think I like it.
I agree. I think you have the rocks in center field, very nice.
On the rocks, you've got the
cool
big A, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Waterfall, right?
Yeah, I think there's a waterfall.
I think Angel Stadium is a good one. I might go A tier with it.
We'll be appropriate and put it in the A tier. Rogers Center.
Angels.
There we go. So we've got I think this is the Blue Jays, am I right? The
Rogers nearly Center. Dying with Splash.
The Blue Jays play Rogers Center?
Yes, Blue Jays. I think it's fine.
I never hated that place.
No, I think it's solid. It's like a C tier. I'd say C tier.
I'm gonna see. Maybe low B, but I'll put it in C. Dodger Stadium is S tier.
Yeah. Chavez Ravine.
It's about as iconic as it gets. Not really much needs to be said there, honestly. Progressive.
I like Progressive. Field. I think it should be B tier. I think you have the iconic wall in left, not quite Green Monster, but nothing is a Green Monster. Good atmosphere in Cleveland. Loved watching the World Series there in 2016. I think Progressive is a good stadium.
We can go B tier.
Yeah, B tier.
Wrigley's actually we're slightly out of date because it has the Indians mark on it, but they're now the Guardians, I think.
Yeah, Guardians. How do you feel about the name changes? Guardians, Commanders. Like, how long do you think it's going to take to get used to them?
A little bit. I think I'm not really used to Guardians yet, and that one's been around longer. I'm probably going to get used to. I'm used to Kraken, yeah.
Okay. And Golden Knights, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's used to Golden Knights by now. I think I'll be used to Commanders a little bit once that season starts, or like once Madden, like if Madden updates the game and has the new stuff in it, then which I doubt they'll do. So
yeah. So Wrigley's S tier.
Wrigley's S tier. No comment. Not really much of a question about that. You got the ivy on the wall and everything like that.
How do you feel about Minute Maid? Because I like the Crawford boxes, the train, the Jorge Soler, Albert Pujols, just absolute moonshots to left.
I need to purge from my mind the memory that like a cheating team played there.
Fair.
But it's cool. Doesn't it have like that weird hill in the outfield?
I think they flattened it. It used to be a flat. I think Minute Maid is like taking a step down in recent years because I think Tal's Hill was like, that's what baseball. That is baseball to me. Tal's Hill, the Green Monster, the Ivy in Wrigley, like that's baseball. That is unequivocally baseball to me. That you have these weird quirks. Every field's a little bit different. So
every field having like its weird, its own weird thing is like just.
I would put Minute Maid. Probably B tier, probably A tier before, like with Tal's Hill. I think B tier without.
I'm gonna go B tier. PNC Park.
I've heard a lot of good things about PNC Park. 21-foot wall in right in honor of Roberto Clemente. I think it's unspectacular, but I think it's like a good unspectacular.
Yeah, it's like it's not out there, but I guess it's one of those like less is more type deals.
Yeah, like I think it's a good baseball stadium. It's a good.
I like that shrub that they have in the outfield with like the Pirates wordmark. That's cool. So
okay, I'd go B or C on this.
We'll go B. We'll be nice. We'll go B.
Camden Yards is absolutely gorgeous. Like I know it's a tiny bit out of date because it was made in the 90s, but it is stunning. Like the bricks.
I love how like what's that building called? The Baltimore or no the.
I don't know what it is.
What's it called?
The building like across the street.
Yeah.
like the Griffey one that he like hit in a home run derby.
You can see in the outfield. It's like the I don't know what it's called. I need to look it up.
Yeah, I'm blanking on what it's called, but I do think it's a good ball. I would say at least B tier, maybe A tier. It's gorgeous. It authored in a new age of baseball stadiums, so I think it's up there. I think it's one of the best.
I'm trying to look up.
I'm torn between A and B tier.
I like really want to get the name of that place. I guess it doesn't have a single name. I guess it's more than one building, but it is. But it's a cool building outside of it. So we'll go A or S or whatever we're doing.
I go A.
We'll go A. Kauffman Stadium is really nice.
Yeah,
I like Kauffman
love the
Stadium.
Waterfall, like the fountains in center.
Yeah,
it has solid dimensions. It's like a fun place to watch a game, like visually.
I also enjoy how they had. I remember there was like a helicopter that was flying over the stadiums, and they got caught playing Mario Kart on the jumbotron. I think the jumbotron has a name. I forget what it's called, but
that is funny.
That was funny.
I think Kauffman's an A tier.
Yeah, Kauffman's A tier. How do you pronounce this? Comerica Park?
Yeah, Comerica Park. I've been to Comerica. It is very beautiful. There's fountains. You have the Wall of Legends with Cobb and Gehringer and Trammell and co. I think it's a really good place for a baseball game. It's sort of that. I think it's better than Cincinnati, better than Toronto. It's kind of in that mold of Pittsburgh. That it's kind of. This is what it means to play baseball because it's a huge outfield.
Yeah.
Like triples galore outfield. So I would say B tier. I think it's.
I'll trust you on it because you've been there. So.
Really good stadium. Coors Field.
Coors Field.
I love Coors.
Coors Field looks really nice.
Yeah. I don't know how much of it is the altitude, but just it's fun watching games at Coors. It's fun. The outfield's huge. You get a bunch of doubles, triples, extra base hits, home runs because you're a mile high. Sure. I think it might be A tier. I think it's a really pretty stadium.
I enjoy watching games there sometimes. So not like in person, obviously, but Citi Field.
I don't. Obviously, it's going to come across as like Braves bias, Mets bias, but. I think it's fine. There's like the Apple.
Too much of an issue with it.
The
Apple's obviously.
Shit. Yeah.
No, the Apple's still there at Citi Field.
Yeah. Okay. The Apple's still there.
I
think that's iconic.
Like
different Apple,
but it's like they still do that.
I mean, it's fine.
I never had an issue with it. I like how the outfield seats are like pretty high up. A lot of stadiums don't sometimes have that, but
I'd probably go C tier. I think it's fine. Nothing special. Also, it's a terrible run environment.
Unfortunately, yes. We'll go C tier. Busch Stadium.
I feel like Busch is another one kind of like Cincinnati that if you just describe baseball, you'll end up with a field like Busch Stadium. So I know there's been multiple Busch Stadiums and they're each varying degrees of iconic. The name is iconic. I don't think this particular stadium is iconic, if that makes sense.
I think the only nice thing about it is that like it on a clear day you can see the arch in the background. But that's like kind of it. So
yeah.
We can go we'll go C tier, I guess.
Yeah.
I think this is the Oakland Coliseum. I think we're probably gonna like drop this into like E or F tier, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not great.
I don't know. I think like when I play baseball video games, I've always liked playing at the Coliseum. But I like the playing surface is weird. The stadium seating situation is weird. The whole place ground is weird.
Feels like it's just dilapidated. It feels like sometimes.
I go D tier.
Yeah, it's definitely like low. Guaranteed rate field.
Okay, I've been here. Screams generic baseball stadium to me.
Yeah,
also
I'm like looking. I have pictures on the side. It looks pretty generic, but
yeah, I would say probably C, maybe even D tier. I hate the name.
Yeah, I would go D then because of the name.
Because it used to be U.S. Cellular Field. Like that actually had like a bit of that was cool, but guaranteed rate.
Guaranteed?
No.
Okay. Target Field.
I would probably go B tier with Target Field. I like watching Twins games there.
I don't think it's terrible. I think it's pretty solid. I watched the Winter Classic there. Field.
Yeah, so there's some nuance to it. I think I would say B tier.
Sure, we're gonna B tier.
And we have a perfect bell curve so far.
There we go.
Globe Life is Field, absolutely gorgeous.
It is fantastic.
It is gorgeous. I was trying to go there for the
I'm not just
World
saying
Series
that because that's yeah, I'm not just saying that because that's where the Dodgers won the World Series, but no, that place is nice. I think it's cool.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I would say A tier.
It doesn't look as good as the renders, unfortunately, but it never does in really any stadium, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? So A tier place, right. I like it.
Truist, another one I've been to. Love the food options there. The ballpark itself is like fine. It's probably like a B tier, maybe even high C tier. Like the ballpark's fine. I love the other things you can do at the ballpark. That it's like in the city. It is in Smyrna, and there's like a battery. It's called the Battery. It's like it's almost like a mall sort of deal that you have a bunch of different restaurants, a bunch of different stores. So it's like integrated in the city. Integrated in the city.
I get what you mean. That's kind of what they're building around SoFi. So I can see what you mean. So
I'd say probably B tier.
We'll go B tier. That sounds like a nice place to be. We'll go B tier.
It's a really nice place to watch a game.
Chase Field.
You have the pool in right field. That's cool. You have the really deep left center.
You can. One thing that I always see like on YouTube is like when people are like filming there, you can see the ball really well against the roof when it's closed. So I think that's nice.
I think it's a good stadium. I'd probably go B tier with it.
I'd go B tier. I've never really had any complaints with Chase Field.
That's one I want to go to. But did I tell you the Braves story?
No.
Braves D-backs. So the Braves are going to open the 2020 season in Phoenix. And I was going to the game. I was going to go with Jacob, my buddy from Navs. I was going to go with him. I was going to pay for tickets. I was going to pay for gas. We were going to drive up, watch the game Saturday. Then the freaking pandemic shuts everything down. I live in Arizona for 3 years, and the Braves don't play at Chase Field.
I know for a fact that you're not the only one that's been affected by that sort of thing.
Yes,
so
I'm sure plenty of people.
Man. It sucks. What can you say? Yes, Petco Park.
I think Petco's nice. It's kind of like an off-brand Dodger Stadium almost.
It's Dodger Stadium South, as I like to call it.
Oh well, that's because the Dodgers win there. I'm just
all
talking
the damn time, but
yes. Other than that one game that was like 16 innings, that was a fun one.
They won that one too, I think.
They did?
Yeah, the one where
Mookie had a diving catch to save.
Yeah, Mookie had the ridiculous diving catch. Yeah, that was definitely.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'd probably go B tier. I think it's fine.
Yeah, we'll go B tier.
Fenway's S.
We don't no debate. Honestly, I'd be willing to put Marlins Park in like a high tier just because of how wild it is. Like I
think there's like lots of fun stuff going on. You have the Clevelander. There's a pool. There's the like
pool. I've always wanted fish tank in the outfield.
I think it's an A. I think it's A. Easily.
Citizens Bank Park.
I like the Liberty Bell.
Yeah, the Liberty Bell's dope.
Weird dimensions. It's fine. I would say B tier.
Sure, but the Liberty Bell is pretty cool. Oracle Park. I don't like the Giants, obviously, but
really,
shocker, right? I know. But I like the splash hit thing. That's pretty cool. I like watching.
I like that. I like the dimensions. The really the triples alley in right field. The weird like garage doors in right. I think it's a good ballpark. You have the glove deep.
The glove is cool. The giant Coke sign. You could just whack it into McCovey Cove. So
yeah. I think it's maybe A tier.
I'll go A tier. We'll be nice to the Giants for once. What is this?
American Family Field.
So Miller Park, pretty much.
F for the name.
F for the name for sure.
F for the name. I'm putting it at F tier. That is an awful name. The stadium itself is cool. You have the slide that the Brewers mascot. I'm blanking on his name. I should know his name, but the Brewers mascot like slides down a slide in left. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Absolute disaster of a name.
Has anyone ever hit a ball into that slide?
Ooh,
Has to have had it happen at least once.
I think it's like 500 feet, for a good 520 away.
Jeez. So probably not. That'd be cool if it did happen though. We got Nationals Park.
I've been there. Very nice ballpark. It's kind of in that same vein of Great American and Citi Field and Busch, that if you're describing a baseball game, you're going to describe something like Nationals Park. So
yeah,
I think it's probably
we'll put it with them. Yeah, why not? This is the T-Mobile Park. Is what that looks like. That says gorgeous.
I think it's gorgeous. I think it's one of the more up-to-date ballparks in terms of like state-of-the-art facilities. They always have an updated food menu. They always have, they have great food. I've never been there, but they have great food.
A tier then?
Good atmosphere. Yeah, I would say A tier.
Yeah. Probably not as iconic as like Dodger Stadium or Wrigley Field or Yankee Stadium, which is
the problem with Yankee Stadium is that it's not the old Yankee Stadium. I think Yankee Stadium is an automatic S, but new Yankee Stadium is probably an A tier.
Yeah, like we'll slap it in A tier, but if it was the old Yankee, it'd be S for sure. Mm-hmm. Tropicana Field to round it out.
Been here before. I know that I like it because it's quirky.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning used to play there.
Really?
Like half the stadium was like actually where the Lightning played, and the other half was just like this giant Comic Con, pretty much, for Tampa Bay Lightning stuff. Like, it was crazy.
I had no idea. I know there was a March Madness there, like 92, 93, because that's why they built it originally. But that is wild. That they used to
like find pictures. It was such a weird setup, but yeah, they used to play at Tropicana Field.
All right. I think it's quirky. I like it. I would say probably B tier. I know other people are going to disagree. I know that's going to be a strong disagree one, but I think it's B tier. I think it's quirky. You have the Ray tank. You have some goofy dimensions. You have the catwalks. I think the catwalks are one of the more unique things in baseball, and I think that's well worth having like B tier.
All right. So those are our tier list. No disrespect to the actual stadium of American Family Field, but you should still be called Miller Park. Yeah, and until you change your name, screw you. So
facts. There you go, Jack. Jack got in his bag right there. We do have a question from 1777 memorabilia. You think drug use is more widespread in MLB than just one team? Sadly, yes.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Like the opioid, whatever it is. That is a massive American problem. That's not just a baseball player problem. That's not like the painkiller stuff in the NHL. You have probably stuff in the NFL that we don't hear about. Sadly, I do think it's probably a widespread thing. Probably not as bad as like the cocaine. Like, did you know, Jack, that the Pirates mascot was indicted on distributing cocaine in the 80s?
Was it the performer or like the mascot itself?
The mask, like the guy in the mask.
The performer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
In the Pittsburgh drug trials, he was like, the parrot. Jeez. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Any last words, Jack, before we wrap it up? Before
this is going to be a
rice.
Yeah, you should probably switch back to your camera, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Although it doesn't matter, I guess, because we're going to wrap up. But make sure you guys stay tuned for that off-season Madden tournament that we're going to run, as well as a lot of other things. Our off-season is going to just be wild.
I'm so excited. We have so many ideas with free agency, with the draft, with random little things we can do. I'm pumped. I'm
beyond pumped. And yeah, I mean, personally, I'm just like really happy to be heading into the off-season, like on the note that we are Super Bowl champs. Like that's
congratulations.
Oh God, it's wild, but I'm loving it. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at UStadium. You can follow our personals. I think Jack put them in the description, and if he didn't, he can edit that.
We can edit the description.
Yeah, he can edit the description. I can change on YouTube, whatever. Make sure you ring a ding ding, that Le'Veon bell, that notification bell, so you get notified whenever we go live. And with that said, Aaron Donald,
Super Bowl champion, Aaron Donald.
Owl. Oh, we need a superb owl t-shirt.
We need a superb owl. Yeah, we do.
We need we need the logo on a helmet. We'll talk about this afterwards. Logo on a helmet, superb owl. Aaron Donald trains with knives. With that said, Super Bowl champion Aaron Donald does in fact train with knives.
See you next week.